In case you forgot, Gaza, the genocide the world tries to forget. In case you forgot, we'll remind you. The people of Gaza have lived through the most barbaric genocide of the modern era. Entire families erased. Cities flattened. Hospitals, schools, and refugee camps turned into graves. For over 2 years, the world has watched, sometimes in silence, sometimes in complicity, as an entire population was bombed, starved, and humiliated under the eyes of the so-called international community. Israel called it self-defense. But no defense justifies slaughter. No security can be built upon the ashes of children. What happened, and continues to happen, in Gaza is not a conflict, not a tragedy, not collateral damage. It is the systematic annihilation of a people, a calculated crime broadcast in real time, while those with power chose to look away. And the hypocrisy burns brighter than the bombs. The same nations that preach democracy arm the oppressor. The same leaders who wept for Ukraine signed deals with the executioners of Gaza. The same institutions that claim to uphold human rights turned mute when the victims were Palestinian. The world cannot pretend not to know. The images are burned into our collective conscience. A father holding the pieces of his child, a doctor operating with no anesthesia, a journalist reporting while his own family lay under the rubble. This is not war. This is extermination. When history writes this chapter, it will ask, where were the United Nations while the camps burned? Where was Europe, the cradle of civilization, when its silence became consent? Where were the so-called guardians of law when genocide was live-streamed? Forget the excuses. Forget the statements of deep concern. They are meaningless against the sound of a mother's scream. The only truth that matters is this. Israel has committed mass atrocities against the Palestinian people, and those who armed, funded, or justified it share responsibility. And now, as months pass, they hope you'll move on. That the images will fade. That you'll scroll past the ruins, forget the faces, and get distracted by the next story. But we will not forget. We will not let the world forget. Because memory is resistance. Because silence is complicity. Because justice demands we remember. So, in case you forgot, Gaza stands as a wound on humanity's conscience. And until every blockade falls, until every war criminal faces justice, until every child can sleep without the sound of drones above, we will remind you, again and again, free Palestine, end the genocide, hold them all accountable.